I love it. The interaction, the interplay at the beginning of the class is exquisite work. It draws up emotions in everyone's points of view. It brings them to a dynamic, big fucking sparkly now, full of life. Now, the emotional side through memory is assessing that entire conversation with all involved. And all involved is everyone who's ever watched it. To the degree they allow themselves to be involved is their unique brainwashing. Yes. I think what it is the word brainwashing is something of a polarized idea, Sonia. And when you use that kind of term, you play the trumpet of victimization. The reason why Roxy asked if you ever are being brainwashed is because, are you? And so, if you're not, why the fuck you bring it up? Well, because my ego wants to compare this and assess things and put it on value, which you were shown, and as well as many other people about themselves and the reactions and the interactions of that said play. Did that? Yeah, is that right? Okay. So, let's talk about comfort now. Sonia and Gina called Roxy this morning, and when lives get particularly good, and the same with Tamsin over there in India, when lives get particularly good, you have to get particularly bad. Is it fair to say that you guys love your balance in life? Too good, too bad. When things are uninteresting, in other words, they're too good, and good does not offer drama. What's the natural explorer? We got to go back to the fundamentals here. The natural explorer is inquisition. Well, you were always wanting to know without needing to think about wanting to know. It's your natural, it's attraction. That's what's happening. You vibrate, give me more, right? That's what you vibrate. So when you have access to a self that is, you, the whole, have access to a self that is egoic structure, that whole self, embodying that fractal self, it needs to know something. It has to have. It needs input. It can stave itself off in mediocrity. But see, dressing up proper and prim and working one place for 30 years as a productive life is an attraction, a choice of something to make themselves feel alive, right? So never judge. Look at yourself. So what we're seeing here is Gina's life is everything is good, but I need some buts. What is happening has absolutely no detail, but her mind is detailed. Mind, detailed. Oh, okay, well, this is happening. Oh, good, good. Now we have some fucking shit to explore, but it's got to be polarized because it can't be non-polarized because the fractal is not whole. The fractal is the word, fractalized. A fraction of your holistic self, therefore, must be contained in partials. Partials in your world is conditioning. Quite simple. Let's not get fucking smart about this and try to figure it out. Let's just accept together that you are embodying a fractal vibration. With that natural self of you, second nature, you guys had it, Colton fucking expressed it. Your second nature, you're natural, you're in the fucking kitchen, you're making a goddamn meal for an army, and it's only you, because you don't care. You're alive, right? But when those things of interaction with the fractal mind as the leader doesn't have anything better to do, well, let's fuck it up. But not fuck it up in good and bad. Fuck it up in only what I have available to fuck things up with. The ego is feeling empty, needs to be filled, blah, blah, blah. So you fuck it up. You go and mess things up. You upset your reality with what you have available. And since you are thinking, well, guess what? You're going to be using your covets. You're going to be using what is accessible to you as a truth. And you draw that up. First, it's drawn up in vibratory stance. Vibratory stance then decorates. So let's pretend I'm a vendor at a baseball game, and I have hot dogs to sell. But some asswipe keeps asking me for a fucking beer. I don't have beer. Can I have a beer? Dilly dilly, let me have a beer. I only sell hot dogs. See, that's what this ego is. It's a stance. You can't draw anything out of a standard. That's the covet. You can't make this guy, this vendor of belief systems, with something that is not encouched in it. So since you have nothing else to play with, you only go to the source. This stance says, here's the details, here's what I got to offer. 1 minute you're a hot dog, next minute you're selling Doritos, next minute it's cotton candy. Make sense? So that's what this self of covets do. You draw up compared as a vibrational remembrance, memories created in the moment, the covets that match this idea, and offer it to the brain and to the conscious self, the brain to translate into your conscious self. And then the conscious self goes, oh, well, yeah, but see that, and like, I'm having an issue. I'm having problems. Let's talk about something of brainwashing. Now you are exploring. Now the natural is relieving the ego of emptiness. You are feeling comfortable again. I know it's polarity. It's all bullshit, but you do it anyway. Every day you guys talk about your fucking bullshit, your fucking past. All you do is every day somewhere in your vibrational relationship you talk about covets. Not a bad thing. All we do, remember, class, we just give you awareness. We're not here to choose for you. Let's see. Why is that? Well, because we can't. And I guess if you do choose what we say, then, oh, I'm sure you can be considered brainwashing. You bring that into the reality. Now brainwashing's in everyone's head. Way to take a big dump on everyone with your diarrhea. Brainwashing. But actually, it's not diarrhea unless you look at it like that. So what you do truly is serviceable and the holistic point. So you can right now look at reality as Sonia's experience, bringing for her dietary needs of egoic structure, to bring a negative word into the class of positivity, to actually see brainwashing. And it's actually not negative, and the class isn't positive. The class is, and you're bringing a God. Everyone else is now realizing some of their own belief systems about your interaction and coveting up. So it is, of course, evolutionary and quite revealing. But if you're thinking about it, you're going to get lost in the shuffle, because we're talking about Chinese algebra, and you're looking at a book of pop-ups with your fucking brain. Your covets, your reliability, your vendor that only gives you so much offerings of reality, and you draw upon that. And like, Gina, I'm having a good time. I'm really having a good time, Roxy. Everything is good, Roxy. Having a good time. But let me fuck up my world with some bullshit. Everything is experiential, Gina. Not just some things. But if you measure some things as experientially negative, then you're going to have a negative experience. Why? Because you're God. What is all this, though? This whole theme. It's comfort. The ego is comfortable. It's your go-to. It's your Linus blanket, as we've said. It's your home base. You know it more than you know your whole. Your whole is a spooky person. You don't really know who you are. Some of you can't even trust you. You think you're going to go off the deep end. You think you're going to get taken away in a paddy wagon. You think all this bullshit because you think. Be, and you don't get the thinking worlds. You don't get the thinking versions of people when you are uncomfortable. Make sense? Uncomfortable is a great place to be. If you are comfortable, you are relying on a vibration that is an egoic structure of somewhere in the middle. You guys are still trying to balance yourself. You guys, humanity, we're speaking in a broad sense, still trying to balance yourself. The creation doesn't work on this. Creation doesn't work this, uh, right, left, middle. That's not creation. That's created from creation. The standard of creation is this. Let's review. You exist. Everything is here and now. What you put out is what you get back. The all are one and the one are all. Change is the only constant except for the first four laws. This says nothing that the creation is balanced. You put out right, you get right. You put out left, you get left. What you put out is what you get back. You validate through covets, beliefs, truths, experiential worlds that validate balance. What do you think you're going to get an unbalanced world? You're going to get a potential to choose balance. You want an unbalanced world, that only unbalanced is a different portion of yourself that says now. Doesn't say unbalanced, but that's your reference. Remember references? That's how you move. That's how you step from one point to another. I'm unbalanced. Does that mean good or bad? Can it mean something else? Oh yeah, it can mean now. Now doesn't need balance, so I am not using balance, so I am unbalanced. Yay. Think about it. All right, so the comfort is what we're really talking about here, and I'm going to look at aspects of the self. You know, was that the, yeah, that was good. There's always just such a tinge difference. Is this off? Okay, good. So let's look at me. And now all of you look at me, which is you. Remember, we're going to be subjective. So now that, pretend this is you talking to yourself as me. You can feel me. You are me. And I want you to not be me as an image. Say it to yourself. Let's take me. And now it's, what is it? Personal. Subjective. So now we're all talking about our individual singularity points of view, right? In my world of separation, the only thing I knew was not to know choice. Let's look at it as one aspect. I didn't know I could say no in the idea of not saying yes, no to a polarity world and having an argument, saying no to a truth. That was a standard. So when you were a child, you only were fed two diets. And I'll reference Bashar here, channel through Dara Inca Bashar, that messenger. You have a diet of beliefs and a diet of food. Those two ideas are your sources of your existence, what you covet initially, parents. And they could be moms or dads or grandmothers, whatever your parental figure was. Maternal, paternal, both, doesn't matter. That idea was steadily feeding you systems of beliefs. You were a coveter, you did not know there was connection. Everything you already knew. You had an experience of complete infancy. No other species has an experience of complete infancy. They are infants, but they are connection infants. Humans are infancy in and of itself, not knowing creation. Everything you've already had, everything you are now, and everything you ever shall be is experiential in the now from your point of view already. You don't remember shit. Bupkis, right? Okay, so let's use that as a choice. So you look at yourself and says, okay, I forgot. Infancy, awesome, look at that. Scary fucking world, not knowing your God, creation, anything. And I only see mom and dads feeding me. I grow comfort in the feeding. It is nourishing. You know what it feels like? It feels like connection. What I am lacking. Because when you get here, you know you're something, but you can't feel it. Otherwise, why would you guys drive so hard? to find things, to create, to do things, to fuck your reality up? What is that internal passion of knowing, of always seeking, I know? What does that mean? 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 That is your connection being filled by covets, your natural exploratory self, right? That's present in you, as we aforementioned. Right? Okay, so be that for a moment with me. You are me. Possessive self. I am possessing my point of view. I am this me. I coveted. I'm comfortable with my covets. I love because I am disconnection. And I need my attraction to be known. And my knowing attraction is love. So I connect with anything that my mind in an infancy remembrance covets as connection. Simple. So what are you guys doing? You're being your true self-comfort. That's all. You want to be comfortable in life. But see, comfort in a human mind is a standard. It fits somewhere on this scale that we gave you, this balance. That's what's comfortable. Some of you are comfortable having a job. Some of you are comfortable not having a job. Jobs are unbalanced in your polarity mind, something you don't want. Some of you love jobs because jobs give you a means to express, and the byproduct is abundance, money. That's your comfort. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's truth. The truth is comfortable. It's your natural connection. When you have that fulfilled, you don't fuck shit up, do you? See, Gina was, life is good. Everything is. She had a little shake, a little friction because of her husband's illness that they're, quote, dealing with. But it really wasn't because they're accepting it. Why are they accepting it? Actually, she's accepting it because it's not her personal journey. Her personal journey is awesome, comfortable. Now, here's how polarity works. Remember? Kishnimato, Krupa. Remember? When things get too good, I need to be polarized because this is my world of comfort. It's not I sustain myself in any particular area. I need to experience my holistic comfort. My holistic comfort is not a point on the scale, it's the scale itself. So since our good friend Gina is having a really wonderful life, everything is coming together. She realizes her thing. She's aware of her covets. She's being the journey, but then slips in an unnoticeable. Something not aware of that Sonia was bringing to the table. Something unseen. I'm too comfortable. If I'm polarized, I must, by law of polarization that I am the truth about, draw in a polarized reaction, a repel. I'm over here at the good, and I'm going to repel you away from the good back to wherever you're going to be okay with. So you choose that idea that is available. My life is too good. I'm growing uncomfortable because I'm at the edge of my comfort zone. So I'm going to repel myself. My ego structure says this whole validated polarized fractal truth is you're at the end of your scale. So I'm going to offer you a repelling. And the repelling comes a form of physical ailment. So she repels her back self into too comfortable, now not so comfortable, moving back. But truly, in the undertone, which Roxy pointed out for her to feel, is the truth about it. She's comfortable with the polarity. Okay? It's a whole picture. It's not points on it. That's where your fractal mind looks. It always wants to place you somewhere in between that movement. And what's the guide? What's the standards? The emotions, right? From the deepest suffering that you allow yourself, your worthiness to experience. Your worthiness will let you only experience so much suffering. And your worthiness will let you experience only so much comfort or awesome, good, whatever it is. Hang on. Ah, be a channel, Roxy. Very uncomfortable. So you listen to these words and take them as your own, speaking to you intimately, personally, admittedly, to know your relationship with these comfortable worlds that you have grown accustomed to. People think that bad people are bad. They're not bad. They're just uncomfortable in their good self. So they need to be comfortable somewhere else on the polarity scale. You guys understand change. Change is constant. Did you ever notice that you cycle? Cycle is constant, but cycle is change. Bad, ooh, good, ooh, bad, ooh, good. It's all comfortable. It's what you know, my friends. It's your go-to first fractal. First remembrance of connection is a covet. Something that makes me feel that love again. That unconditional connection to creation. And oh my God. I remember in me, not up here. This brain doesn't have any reference points. It's a child. It's an infant. It doesn't understand how to equate its feelings to a reference point. But through your experience, all of you, now you see what you do. You're comfortable pulling up your reference points of connection, love. And so you do every day. When you become uncomfortable with your reality, it's when you stand a foot. What does that mean? It means someone calls you to the carpet and you stand on it. You don't cower. You don't back down. You don't lean in the idea of, let's say, lean in is a good term in one aspect, but I'm giving it in a reference that you have to lean in to be honored. Maybe that's not the best idea at this point. Anyways, so let's look at this. This idea, self, learning to see, relies on particulars, particular comforts, particular needs. And when you no longer choose a reliability comfort, are you not uncomfortable? Since Roxy and Jennifer talked a lot yesterday, epiphany. She had Jennifer had an absolute truth, honest, here's what I am. She took a fucking knife and she filleted herself, filleted that ego and opened it up and let everything of Jennifer out and said, here. She stood a foot. She was called to the carpet. She could have justified. She could have reacted. She could have done all that. But see, the uncomfortable self that feels something beyond the comfort is the bravery, is the truth of you releasing this polarity world, no longer relying on it. She come to a point, she's sick and tired of juggling her reality of management. I'll manage my parents, I'll manage my sisters, I'll manage my life, I'll manage myself, and all of it is ego to keep her comfortable. But she is uncomfortable at points in her life, but she also relies on the comfortable. The comfortable. It's a good friend. It feels good. Don't deny it. You may be fucking shit up in your life with drama. Oh, but I bet if you pay attention, you feel good about it. It's comfortable because it's connection. It's remembrance. It's belonging. Okay. So she fillets herself in front of mom and dad and goes at it. But not argumentatively. Honestly. Here. No matter what he says, it's me. She doesn't justify. She doesn't stand against him. She allows him to be. Complete vulnerability. Allows him to spew his beliefs, his truths upon her. The egoic self is familiar. Oh my God, that's comfortable. That's where we belong. Look at everything he's saying. That's the connection to remembrance. That's love. Jennifer, what are you doing? Say yes to him. Go back into the comfort. Be what you have always been. It's a great salesmanship. It's a negotiation constantly when you engage in it. Right? Yeah. Right. But she didn't. She chose no comfortable moment. She did not recede 1 ounce. She was not the waning moon in that interaction. Oh, she definitely waxed. She brought her full light to the table, and the only thing she could get was a different version, because she didn't allow herself to choose the version of the comforts, which draws out on the opposition, your parents, the co-creator, the outside of her point of view, the co-creator, that person that she used to oppose, she accepted. So that version of non-comfortable has to come out of the father. It's law. What you put out is what you get back. When you expect the law to be at your beck and call, well, that's the same structure of comfort. That's why you have no expectations. You can't get people to act a certain way. They're not fucking monkeys on a grinder. They're gods. But no God can change their light unless the light that is shown upon them is a vibratory match of differentiation. Remember, we talked about memory last week. That first initial, you know your parents not in the now. When they're not present, you know them not in the now. The now that they're not, you don't know them, but you remember them. So if you use the remembrance version of your parents and the physical interaction of the now experience of co-creation, then why will you think you get a different version of those people? And that goes for anybody. You're relying on the memory to create a reality. A vibrational match draws everything encompassed in that person that you've known, and if that person is polarity, what do you think you're going to get? A non-polarized point of view? Well, that's just the ego expecting. So Jennifer fillets herself, and she doesn't rely on the comfort. She's sweating, she's uncomfortable, she's scared, but she feels alive. So fucking good. At that point, she could have run the world, solved every problem on the world. Everything would have been done because she was so God. Everything on the world could have been dissipated with that energy because that was God. Not dissipated as in fixing. Not dissipated as giving a counter way to make it better. No, enough light to let everyone see themselves. God. In the present. So do you think she got the version of the parents that was in her memory? Impossible. Because her vibration does not attract memory. Her vibration of choice in the now, authentic, being the conscious self, saying, me, this is my motherfucking truth. She put it out there. She did not stammer, waver. She did not tilt against fear. She laughs at it. And what happens? She gets different versions. They understand. They sat down as intelligence with her and communed with her and conversated to understand her point of view, because she was always giving the justification vibration of comfort, and they were not interested in her fucking point of view ever and what she was, because it sounded like she's justifying, and it sounded like complete bullshit until she brought the light to the table that wasn't this version of herself. Then they can't see the truth about her as a different frequency. But she brought it, and now they're inquiring. Why? Because they're gods. But you'll never get that version because you're afraid, uncomfortable to be the uncomfortable God that you are, leaving the comfortable field of polarity. Leaving the comfortable field. So they inquired about Odyssey of Ascension, about what she does, about her life, about her opinions, about religion, about Roxanne herself. To know these things. It wasn't a polarity measurement of good and bad. You know what I see it as? Fucking interaction. Creation reinforcing itself, becoming more of itself through the idea of unconditional. It's happening everywhere, all the time. Everything, here and now, is always more. But you're only noticing it on a scale. Comfortable. Uncomfortable gods take chances. They're brave. They're reckless. People label them all over the place. The idea now, let's look at the turncoat for a second. I'm going to burp. Pardon me. When you become comfortable again in your bravery, don't settle. See, that's what Gina did. Gina was brave, went through a lot of shit to speak herself, found out on the other side of fear is only her and the love for herself. She got to a point of comfortable. But since the comfortable, there was no more opportunity to be brave and find more selves because there's nothing around her. Now, this is going to be a little bit sticky, so listen up. Nothing else around her. She only goes to the comfort, which is whatever is available as the hot dog salesman. In this case, it was medical, right? Issues. So she wants to focus on that. She draws that in, blah, blah, blah. You all know how it works. But see, it's not the comfortable you want to see about yourself because that's the reliable. When you're feeling good, I don't want you to feel good. I want you to feel what it is below that. Don't rely on the memory. You got to be focused in the now and feel what's coming. And you'll feel it. It's going to be very dim or very unattainable at first because you're so used to relying on measuring reality through the comfortable emotional scale, right? Now you don't have a scale. Now it just is with no labels. Well, how the fuck do I function? I got to put something somewhere. Everything's got its own place in reality, or otherwise it'll be chaos, right? Jaded, I gotta put it somewhere. Well, no, you don't, because the now doesn't provide space. There's no reason to space yourself in the now. The now is. Okay? It's good tea. When you settle into mediocrity, it's okay. I need you to know that about yourselves. I want you guys to sit in yourselves as me. So everyone goes, okay, I'm going to talk to me. Me, yes, it's okay to be mediocre. What does the ego say? See, because the whole self accepts the mediocrity. Because it is now. The ego says mediocre shouldn't be. Okay? Look at that turncoat. That turncoat's trying to get you to be away from mediocrity so it can cycle itself. The underlying tone of that feeling, when Gina feels really awesome, see, she comfortable feeling awesome, so therefore automatically draws in from the memory how to repel herself because things are too good. She's at her edge. That's why I get you to see what's underneath. Feel without labels. Non-polarity. Experience it. It's just something of unknowable, uncomfortable, can't fixate it. It's a stream. It's the current. The turncoat wants you to be okay. Wants you to be bad. Wants you to be good. Then wants you to be okay. So when you accept your mediocrity, and you are the now. You're not defined. The ego's trying to define you as mediocre. You need to move. You need to change. Or you just say, that's all you're worth. See, that ego, that turncoat is massive. But underneath the acceptance, you will feel the truth behind it that is whole. Comfort, my friends. It feels good. You have physical comforts all the time. You have favorites, favorite jeans, favorite TV shows, favorite music genres, things that just make you feel good. I don't want you to change that. I want you to accept it. With acceptance comes change, because change is the constant. And when you are accepting reality, you're not polarized about it, keeping you in that operational field of balance. Okay? So it's okay to be comfortable. But in the now, when the uncomfortable shows itself, don't repel yourself. Be uncomfortable. Explore. Because I guarantee you, if you are uncomfortable, you're releasing an idea to be exposed to the conscious self that no longer services you as a standard of creation. The fractal becomes more whole. You are joining the two minds. Any questions, my friends? Yes, just is.
I had something I wanted to say.
Hello, Josh.
I find it easy to find comfort in chaos. So I think it is possible to find comfort in the chaos of not knowing when your comfort is arising.
Sure. Complicated, egoic, and absolute. You can have that. How do you feel about it now, since you accept you can have that?
No different. I just wanted to share it.
No, I'm not asking you to share or not share. That's polarized. How do you
Mhm.
feel about accepting that your brilliance that you accepted is a truth?
The truth feels more firm.
Good. Does it feel comfortable?
Yes.
Very good. Very good, my friend. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Where did everybody go? Roxy's like this. Where's Rebecca? She probably is in school. All right, my friends. You're coming to a new notion. I know you can feel it with me, aren't you? Can you guys feel the classes shifting? But not in the measure of good and awesome, exceptional, because you've had those classes. You've had such great classes to bring you to new awareness. The classes where they are is just priceless. Do you understand something now? That they're always priceless? That they're growing in this notion you can feel? The awesomeness returning that needs not measurement? You can feel it, can't you? It's not about the classes. It's about me. Say that. It's about me. The singularity is me. It's okay. You can be that. Tonight we shall speak again. This is Jaded. I bid you